Ah, well, good morning, and it's 8:02 in the White Hart Hotel. So I suspect it's 8:02. I think a good many other places throughout the country. This is Mirador Television, quirky as they come. Just Mr. Keith at the moment. Beth undoubtedly will be along in a little while. And we are going for this first hour to take a look at the national news and make some comment on various things. And all in all, just generally take a look at what's going on around us. First of all, it's going to be warm again today. We might get a little bit of rain. Might. It's a bit overcast at the moment, but we're still looking at 22, 23, and that's quite warm. So do be careful when you go out there. A lot of people have suffered from the heat. I have a little bit, not as much as I thought I might. And I know what to do about it, and that is drink plenty of beer. Is my answer to anything and everything and all problems is drink plenty of beer. We'll go to the headlines in a moment or two, but I think one of the things that we should say is we find out things all the time in this job because something prompts us to look at one thing and we discover another. And it is interesting to discover what the restrictions are in terms of decision making on our local councillors, the people who are on the town council. And is my reading of the restriction means that they should not put party politics first. They should put the welfare of the town first. Now, that's going to cause a lot of problems if they follow that. But who is the arbiter for this? Are they or aren't they? That we need to find out. But we have been shouting loud and clear on this channel that party politics should not play a part of local governance. It seems as if, in fact, it shouldn't. That by statute it shouldn't. And so I suppose that we're going to have to start to look at things very differently to see how each individual councillor is behaving. Because if there is any suspicion that it is behaving in the interest of its party, then it's breaking the law. And we need to be very clear on that. Of course, the thing is, our interest in politics is such that we cast a vote, some of us cast a vote, and after that we forget it. Until such time as we hit crisis. Are there enough crises going around to make sure that we've got good governance? And good governance means like living by the rules. I'm not sure that any level of government at the moment is doing that. And it's a great pity that we haven't got that sort of commitment from our councillors, or for that matter, our MPs. And there's an almighty row going on at the moment, is whether the MP has actually misled us. But we'll get onto that in a little while. The thing is, there's so much mudslinging going on at the moment. I've never known such inner viciousness. Such inner viciousness amongst people just because they have beliefs. Surely that cannot be right. Surely that most certainly cannot be right. Is working all right? I'm just double checking. There you go. I hope that the picture is okay. Right. Okay. Now we need to get stuck into the papers, and of course it's a question of spying, isn't it? Oh yes, it's a question of spying. Oh dear, we've hit a problem already. We found our way back, but the signal is all over the place this morning. That's not something we can do much about, I'm afraid. Signal is signal, and we've got pictures somewhere. We keep on getting into the wrong folders, and I have no idea why. No idea whatsoever. And those are the things that we're going to have to sort out, aren't they? I'm here. And the newspapers are here. Let's just take one moment to see whether, in fact, we can. No, that's wrong. We don't want that. We most certainly do not. No, we won't that if we can get it. No, it's all playing out. You just have to wait for a little while to get some pictures. So you just have to put up with my face when we're talking about the newspaper headlines. Okay, the newspaper headlines: I'm no China spy, and 1 in 3 female surgeons are abused. That's the Times. Well, these unofficial surveys they bother me in as much as there is nothing scientific about them. I'm sure that there are females abused who are surgeons as much as there are females abused in other walks of life. We have to work towards parity. Females should not be discriminated against. But by the same token, it is my view, and this is just my view, that feminists ask to be treated differently by some of their approaches. Why not just put everybody into the melting pot so the same rules apply? Oh, you can't do that, people will say. But what we're trying to do with our society is is ignore the KISS role. Keep it simple, stupid. We keep on complicating things to the point where nobody understands what the rules are anymore. And then somebody somewhere gets all upset and starts to yell and scream and say that we're having a bad time. Okay, there we go. Rant started for today. And am I in the ranting mood? Yes, I think I am. So we'll most certainly have a little rant in a little while. But let's go on to the. Well, no, actually, just while we're with the Times, is 1 in 3 female surgeons are assaulted by a colleague. And the Times says that NHS surgeons have been sexually assaulted by a colleague over the past 5 years. According to a paper published in the British Journal of Surgery, sexual misconduct is rife and appears to go unchecked in the profession. It reports that the study's results have been presented to NHS England, the General Medical Council, and the British Medical Association. So we're going to hear more about that because now the organizations have gone into it. The Metro, it's a lie. I'm no China spy. Well, the main story really is that we have a spy in our midst, apparently, right in the House of Commons. And now, of course, it's become an issue for shall we, shan't we, dilly-dally. Always is when it gets into the hands of the establishment. It's a lie. I'm no China spy is what the Metro says. It's a lie. I'm no China spy is the Metro headline, as the paper reports on a denial from one of the parliamentary researchers who says he is completely innocent. The BBC is not naming the individual as he has not been charged. Now, the other issue is that the House of Commons have been told not to name him. Now, if you want to guarantee that the House of Commons will get up in arms, tell them not to do something, because they are the sovereign body. In theory, they can do anything they like. They are all powerful. Of course, in practice, it doesn't work out that way, and nor should it otherwise. We would be in an authoritarian state. But the fact of the matter is that the House of Commons have been told not to do something by an unelected authority. You can't do that with the House of Commons. Whoever did it is a clown. Having said that, well, actually, as I understand the rules in the House of Commons, is that MPs in right of privilege in the House are able to make any claim that they want without any fear of being sued. So I suppose that they can take that stance in the House without fear of being dumped on. But the fact of the matter is they have been told not to do something. And I don't know where that leaves us constitutionally. It's a question I think that we need to ask. Well, the Daily Mail is the one that highlights this. And its MPs told, don't mention the spy. And fury erupts as the Commons are told not to name the researcher or even discuss a growing scandal after the arrest over China links. Dear. A heated debate in the Commons on Monday. The Daily Mail reports that fury erupted as MPs were told not to name the parliamentary researcher accused of allegedly spying for China. The researcher has vehemently denied these claims on Monday and has not been charged since his arrest earlier in the year. So legally, it's probably everybody is doing the right thing by not naming him. But the House of Commons is a different kettle of fish. It is an ultimate forum. It has its own set of rules. Sometimes those are very frustrating for those of us who want to look simply at rule of law. They have their own set of rules, and to be told not to do something is like red right to a bull. So fury has erupted, is the right term. The Daily Telegraph. Britain cannot afford to cut ties with China, despite a spying row. And there are a couple of other interesting front page stories here. Hunt, Jeremy Hunt, that is, told tax cuts aren't coming. They would only make things worse. He's been urged at all sides to cut taxes, partly for a voter situation, to see whether the Tories can hunt up a few votes for the next election, which comes next year. And disposable vapes are to be banned to stop addiction among children. These vapes, when they first came out a couple of years or so ago, were hailed as the savior from cigarettes. First of all, it would appear that the amount of alcohol, I was going to say, nicotine that goes into the, maybe not be nicotine, but the smoke is just as easily going into the system as if you were smoking tobacco. So that's going to be another row, I expect. Financial Times. Wilco to close remaining 300 stores with 12,500 job losses as the rescue fails. If you recall, Wilco, which we don't have in this part of the world, but elsewhere, is convenience stores, and they ran into financial trouble. They looked at a rescue package because there are some 600 stores throughout the UK. And it looked as if there were 2 or 3 reports of a savior, a white knight, coming in and saving the chain. Yeah, saving a chain. It's always very difficult, and sometimes it's the chain itself doesn't want to be saved. Right, and a stronger case for action against Beijing as the cabinet rifts emerge over the spy scandal. Back to the spy scandal, and what the Financial Times is saying is that the cabinet wants to take action against Beijing. But some members of the cabinet are saying, hey, hang on, look, we're just getting the EU economy or the British economy back into shape. And there are reports this morning that we're doing much better than Germany, even as a Brexit country. But anyway, the main thrust of what's coming out via the Financial Times is that oh, yes, we do. Oh, no, we don't. Yes, we need to take sanction action because it's a naughty thing that they've done. No, look, if we upset this lot, they are the most powerful economy in the world, and that's going to impact on what we will be seeing and telling to the voters. The main news is that Wilco will disappear from the high streets. Another rescue deal fell through. Around 3 of the flagship stores are due to close, leading to some 12,500 redundancies. The chain's collapse is a further blow to hollowed out high streets across the UK. It pictures destroyed homes in Amizimis, Morocco, after an earthquake during the weekend killed nearly 2,700 people. That was the weekend's news and so on, but it continues on as the West attempts to help and once again gets itself into a right bloody pickle. The Guardian, NHS alarm over exodus of medical students. It's taken a totally different view. The Guardian shows devastation in Monaco from the earthquake, and the good things are being done by survival teams. But it says a third of young medics plan to quit the NHS within 2 years of graduating. Poor pay, lifeline, and working conditions are attributed as the main factors for physicians intending to leave the UK and continue their medical elsewhere. So the fact that some of these people are saying we're going to quit it seems that they're going to quit because the grass is greener on the other side of the hill. Is it? My experience is never. The Eye. Tories tell Sunak to toughen up on China after the spy arrest. And it says the state pension boost is on the way for millions, but no tax cuts. So millions of people will see their pension increase to £220 a week under the triple lock deal to match wage growth, leaving Jeremy Hunt with an extra £2 billion black hole in his budget. Unexpectedly high earnings will trigger state pensions of about 8%, bigger than planned. And Sunak refused to comment to commit a triple lock to a pledge after the next general election. On this Treasuries consider squeeze on benefits and warns tax cuts cannot be afforded under current plans. There you are. It's one that everybody is concerned about, but nobody understands. The Daily Express. Why the UK's £480 million deal to stop the boats is doomed. Right, it goes to immigration, which illegal immigration, which it's reported that the people can't get their heads around the fact that what apparently is happening is they are. It's not working. All the anti-smuggling, people smuggling initiatives put up by the government have either fallen afoul of those people who say no, it's not legal, or those people who could care less about it. The Mirror. It was on me. I just felt panic. I was screaming. That's the young lady who was attacked by savage dogs. The victim of the latest attack, lucky to be alive, as we reveal killer breeds still being sold online. And the Sun goes to the Star sector. Brian, somebody whose name I don't know, but that doesn't mean anything. Oh, Brian Connolly. Oh, I do know. Yes. Brian, I'm out of Enders. He's a star in EastEnders, and he's quit EastEnders following a row with the soap's top executives. Dear me. And my favourite, the Daily Star. What next after invasions by horrid Asian hornets, jellyfish, daddy longlegs, and false window spiders? What else have we got to come? Well, it tells you we've got red fire ants. The Daily Star reports that red fire ants are making a return, according to insect boffins. And they're the sort that if they bite you, you know it. Yes, indeed. Right. There we are. Those are the headlines. I think that one of the things that is of key interest to me and I'm not sure just how important viewers will think it, but that is the issue of the House of Commons being told it must not talk about the spy. Now, they can tell you and I not to talk about the spy, and that's perfectly okay. We have to give our leaders some authority to tell us how to lead our lives. Otherwise, there's no point in making them leaders. But the House of Commons is sacrosanct. It is the most powerful forum in the land. And I'm afraid that we are seeing an attack on that precedent. And I'm sorry, but I have to go along with, even with I think that the House of Commons screws things up badly. It is not a quality House of Commons. But you can't just simply change the rules because you think that there's no quality left in the House of Commons. And the fact is that to tell it not to discuss is, wow, talk about dangling a red rag in front of a bull. And I can see that the issue has created fury in the corridors of power in Westminster. So those are the newspaper headlines. We might just try to see if we can determine if there's anything really interesting locally. Quite often, it's the same old story. But one never can tell. Let's see. Well, here we are. A heat wave is going to come to an abrupt end. Sussex is set for a thundery burst very soon. Let's take a look at what's happening. Well, the weather can be just as important as anything. Let's see. Some areas across Sussex are set for local thundery bursts today as the Sussex heat wave begins to come to an end. Yes, it's dipping a little bit, but it's still pretty hot out there. Crawley and Eastbourne should expect varied weather conditions. Well, that means that involves us. That's a swathe of East Sussex that includes Lewes. According to the Met Office, some towns, including Crawley and Eastbourne, should expect varied weather conditions with rain showers as temperatures take a slight downturn. Although maximum temperatures are set to stay at 22 degrees across the county, some Sussex locals should prepare for bursts of adverse weather, with thunder and rain expected around midday for a few hours. A spokesman for the Met Office discussing Tuesday's forecast wrote, "Patchy rain will edge southeast, breaking into heavier, more showery and perhaps locally thundery bursts, with sporadic showers possible in brighter conditions ahead of this." Well, there we go. That adds a bit to the weather forecast. Where do we find what else is? No, we've actually. Finding some of these things is not as easy as it would appear. There we go. Piers Morgan attends Sussex Art Festival to celebrate his talented mum. Don't think we need to know that. A body has been found, believed to be a 19-year-old who went missing at West Wittering. Brighton Beach was swamped as people enjoyed the hottest day of the year, and 7 hospitalised in East Sussex as police warned about a dangerous batch of heroin. 3 ways Brighton could line up in attack via Manchester United, including, well, that's sports. Well, we're very sympathetic to sports, which are not to cover it. The Brighton Council has admitted that the council has a lot of learning to do after the Royal Albion Hotel fire. All right, it's nothing spectacular in the local news. It is now 8:32. We're going to take a break for a short period of time, and then we'll be back with some more information and news and so on. So let's let's go down. Let's go down to the woods today. I'm back putting in favour a little potter's wheel. In other words, our own park, which is a beautiful park, South Overgrange Park. Huh. Oh, where are we? There we go. We are back. I think we should say that we have a lot of people who tap in who are not familiar with Lewis, and they see this room behind us, which actually is the bar of the White Hart Hotel where we broadcast from. And we are glad that people appreciate the history, not least of which is our correspondent, our friend, and somebody we chat to in New York, Stefanos, who is the director of a leading New York opera company, has looked at it and said, I would like to do an operetta for including Tom Paine, which we pushed him hard to do that. An operetta with Tom Paine. And, what I think I should do is I should write it so that we could actually produce it and perform it in that room, he says, looking at the background, in that room. And it is indeed, in many ways, a splendid room. It's a bit raw, it's a bit rough around the edges, but it's full of history. And to tell one little tale is that Tom Paine was he was actually a bar fly. He liked his tipple, And his location, or his prime location, was at the Crown Hotel, which is across the road. And the Crown Hotel is now no longer a hotel. In fact, I'm not quite sure what it is. It seems to have got itself into all sorts of a muck, and as a result, it no longer thrives in that sense. But in his day, it was a bar, and he would go into the bar, and his favorite topic was the rights of man. We shouldn't be beholden to a king. We shouldn't be beholden to an elite group of people. It should be ruled by the people, for the people, etc. And if you walked into that bar, he would collar you and start to talk to you and tell you about his theories. And the regulars got fed up with this. They just wanted to go there for a quiet drink, or they wanted to be able to chat about things that are important to them, not to Tom's idea of what the rights of man were. Not his idea of what we should be doing to the Prince Regent or to Henry William the Fourth. William? I'm really way out on my royalties this morning, but it was George, of course. But he was then barred. The landlord said, I don't want you in here, Tom, because you're boring everybody to tears, and they're threatened not to come back if you're in the bar. So he was told he was not welcome in the bar of the Crown. So he picked up his gown, picked up his pajamas, and moved over to the White Hart, where he continued to preach about the rights of man until he departed for the Americas somewhere around 1750, 1760. Yes, somewhere around there. And so he made this hotel famous while the Crown lost its impetus because it didn't have its favorite son. So that's the history of this bar. It was Tom Paine's favorite bar, and it was built in a house with on the fireplace, which you can just see behind me. There are initials carved, T.P., and they do not stand for Tom Paine. On the contrary, they stand for Thomas Pelham, the man who built this, first of all, as a house before it became a hotel, and who was a prominent member of our community. And so that TP is not Tom Paine, it's Thomas Pelham. Why I'm telling you this? Well, just in case you happen to be one of the few people who are watching us, that if you come in here, that's what that's all about. Why did I start to tell you that? I have no idea. But I was talking just simply about the lovely studio, if you like, that we have in the White Hart Hotel. You say, Mr. Keith, now Beth, I'm not quite sure what's happened to her this morning. I know that she was having some problems with her roof, and it's possible that that's keeping her back. But anyway, undoubtedly she'll turn up at some stage. Let's take a short break, shall we? And then we'll come back and we'll talk about other things up until 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Yes, up until 9 o'clock, when we'll take a break, and then we will have later on. We've got one or two people who are coming in to report to us. It's a Tuesday is always a strange morning. and this morning is even stranger because there is so much going on locally in terms of politics, and it needs a good explanation. Right, you are. Let's just say toodle pip for a brief moment, and we'll be back very, very shortly. We will.